What's up, amigos? What's up? Whether this habit, whether this, unhelpful habit was as a result of, past painful experiences in your past, things that kind of like resets your brain and kind of made you to always be overthinking everything, constantly ruminating over a situation before you do anything, makes you to just stop then your tracks and start thinking. Whether it's because of that or anything else, this video is for you. Okay, like me, actually overthinking was not really a problem of mine before. It was after some things happened in my university days. A lot of things happened. It was kind of like a cycle of the same things coming to me in similar patterns, and I was in situations where people were being unjust, dishonest. I was in situations where people were telling half-truths. They made it seem as if they were the victims, and I was the culprit. Like I was the wrongdoer. They made it seem like as if they were the victims and I was the bad person. Inside it, within it, which wasn't true. It's just dealing with unjust people. Okay, like I said, the world is not fair. The world is people. So I was in that kind of situation. So I got into this cycle of I just doubted myself. I doubted myself in almost everything. Perhaps even looking through a dictionary, say I'll just see the meaning of a word and okay, normally these things, it just click. It just clicks. But then I would doubt myself. Like I would be reading through an article online or offline, whichever one, and then when someone is explaining something, it's and then you are getting it, but it's like you're not getting it. Basic things that normally, like, the human mind is supposed to understand, an intelligent mind. Even when people say the truth, I remember those. Okay. When someone is trying to, when someone says something that normally you would normally agree with, basically I just doubted the truth. When someone says something that that supports your own idea already, that supports what you already had in mind, it could be a friend just agreeing to whatever he said, like something abstract, like a deeper meaning to something behind what's going on the surface. Someone just say something that resonates or agrees with your idea, with your opinion, whatever you have in mind, and then I would just this kind of shock would just come over me. I would just, like, in my body, you could see I would just be shocked, like, because society, people, the world, the devil, whatever you want to call it, a situation that kind of trained my mind, to make me believe I was the bad guy, that I was wrong, that that I was the guilty one, that I was lying and they were telling the truth, whereas the opposite was true. Like, it just made me to doubt every single thing I believed in. It made me to doubt myself when I'm reading something, I just suddenly understood what this passage said or what this person was saying in this article. Then this feeling of doubt just come on to just doubt my thoughts, doubt processes, doubt my belief, what I was able to construe or like to get from this thing I just read or heard, what I was able to make out of it, my own, my own meaning to it, my own connotation perhaps of, my own connotation maybe. So all that said and gone. So, but yeah, it's been a long walk, and I've in the path to self-development, I've learning, trying to reroute my negative thinking patterns that I'm always wrong, I'm wrong, and which it's not like I chose for it to be like that, but just the way the world and people like I was already expecting the world to be fair, justice, people to be good, to be just, to say okay, they did this first before I did this, that they were the ones that tried provoking me to doing this. I just had to move away from people being fair, expecting that people will be fair every time, or people will be good, people will be just, no matter how old or elderly they are, that they will not stoop so low to tell the truth, to tell a lie. I had to move away from that and see like people are wicked, or like people don't have shame, there are people that don't have honor, like, and just because some people are against you doesn't mean you're wrong, doesn't, even though they try to make you feel guilty, make you feel like the bad guy, like the bad person. That could just be hypocrisy plain at that point in time. That could just be pure hypocrisy, wickedness, and evil, pure, blatant, and arrant nonsense that you shouldn't pay attention to, if not to work on you. Okay, so I had to learn to route the negative thinking pattern into positive ones, and actually start to like, okay, believe myself more, like, okay, this thing is true, and it's a process, it's a pattern, it's a journey. It's a journey, it's been a journey for me since. It hasn't been easy. So wherever you are now, if you could relate to anything I've just said, it might take a while, but be prepared to go through that journey. Be prepared to walk on that journey. Be prepared to walk on that road towards your freedom, breaking free from the negative thinking habits that the world, situations put on you. So number one, guys, have an opinion. Yes, guys, that's very important. Have an opinion. Someone once said, when I find out that I might just write the person that said it, someone said, this person said that to rely on the opinions of others and not have an opinion of your own makes you a slave to other people's opinions, to other people. You should be able to think for yourself. You should be able to, get out of the status quo. You should be able to have contradicting ideas, even if at the end of the day you're wrong. But you should be able to, stand up for yourself. You should be able to have an opinion, have a brain, have your own opinion about something, have your own idea, have your own construment, have your own deduction, just have your own opinion. Stop doubting yourself. Learn to trust yourself more. Learn to believe yourself in whatever you're saying, because you know what, you might be right at the end of the day. You might be right. You might just be right. Force yourself to believe that what you're saying is right, because it is right. It's just those old negative thinking patterns that are just trying to require your brain to rewire your brain again to make you be like the way you were before, to make you to doubt yourself. And the more you doubt yourself, the more you tend to doubt, the more you tend to overthink. Okay, this one I'm clearly a offender of the sunlight. Like I break this one a lot. I do this a lot. I'm clearly one of these rules offenders, and that is repeating yourself. Tell yourself, learn to stop repeating yourself. Stop repeating yourself. Most of we do things, okay, something happens, like something doesn't happen the way we want it. Something unwanted happens to us. It might be in our home, like I don't know guys, the time, okay. Alright, so just stop, okay? Learn to stop repeating yourself. Learn to stop repeating yourself. It's clear why it's not your fault. You didn't like what just happened. You didn't like what happened. That happened. You didn't like that. The fact that this thing happened, and and then you start repeating yourself, explaining yourself like as if you did it intentional, like as if there was another way around it. Meanwhile, there was none. It was probably not your fault. Maybe you could have done something that next time you do something else. You just I stay in a self-contained sort of. My kitchen is small, fridge in front of my kitchen. I was cleaning my kitchen, my fridge the other day. I just carried something, one of these, I just carried it. One of these layers in the fridge. There was water inside. I was, trying to clean my fridge. So, I just fridge directly in front of the kitchen. So, and the kitchen is small. It's small. It's not wide. I just, so water on up on the ground. I carried it straight to my sink and tried pouring it, but then it crossed over my pot and water, the water that was on the I don't know what they call those things, like layers, all those things in the fridge that you can put something on top. The water and one of all those, like a wedge or something, just poured into my stew, and I was just repeating myself, like explaining myself, like I was unhappy obviously because it's like the water was not just dirty water, but then the space in between me and the pot was the pot in the kitchen was very small. Like this is the pot, this is me. The kitchen is very small, so and I was just doing thing like this. My body could only occupy one space, and the other thing, what I was carrying from the fridge, could only occupy that space. Only something to pour on my body, so I just inadvertently passed it over my pot, and voila, pot was slightly open and it poured. So learn to stop repeating yourself. If you just say it once, you should just be okay with it, okay? You should just be okay with it, because we're always trying to make all these explanations like why it's not our fault, like it's not our fault, because you didn't really want this thing to happen, you didn't want it to go like, but then it went like this. So you should just stop explaining yourself to yourself. Before your mind entered into the overthinking process, what first came to your mind? What really first came to your mind? For your mind, you've already gone back, you've already moved away from that, and your mind just brought you to it again, and just starts trying to complicate things for you. What first came to your mind? What's the meaning that first came to your mind? Because that might just be the answer. Okay, and if nothing really came to your mind at that point, you should just still skip and move on. And that helpful tip is before you start overthinking, before you start thinking so much on a particular subject, on a particular thing in your mind, ask yourself this question: do you not really understand this? Do you not really understand it? Because if you do, then, well, why are you thinking? Like, why do you permit your brain or permit yourself to enter into the analytical process, the over-analyzing? But if you don't, if you really do not understand it, this came to me at one time to help you. It's to help you. All these are tips to help you overcome overthinking, because overthinking can cause you a lot of stress, can cause you headache. Your head will just be full and everything. But if you don't, well, then the thinking might just be worthwhile. It might just be worthwhile. You're thinking. And finally, guys, stop. 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 Just stop. Most of the times, what we're dwelling on, overthinking is not really necessary. Like I said, no one is perfect. The people you hear what they are saying, they are not perfect. And the person that published or wrote this article is not perfect. He or she is not perfect. So just stop. Stop. Your mental health should be first. Prioritize your mental health over trying to understand or figure out anything. I know it takes a lot of discipline, but in the long term, stopping is always the best. Like, it's the best. Stop. 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 It ain't necessary. Core synopsis: 1. Have an opinion. Have an opinion. Your own opinion. 2. Stop doubting yourself. 3. Learn to stop repeating yourself. Stop repeating yourself. So yourself. Stop explaining yourself. Learn to stop explaining yourself. So yourself. It still falls under stop repeating yourself. What first came to your mind? What first came to your mind? Do you not really understand it? Do you not really understand this? 6. Stop.